Good afternoon, and thank you, Victor and Mark.
Thank you, David.
I'm going to put my glasses on so I can talk better. These are my magic talking glasses. Now, for the last 8 weeks, Reverends Nian and Warren have taken us through the innate faculties of mind, referred to by Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore as the 12 powers. This week, we will be discussing the activity of order in our lives. We'll look at this in 3 ways. First, we'll get an idea of what exactly order means as both principle and power, both in relationship to the world and us as individual expressions of spirit. Next, we will take a look at how we can attain full access to this incredible power and how that power will last for our lifetime. Finally, we will see how that power is able to restore harmony and balance to the world. Now, to gain a full grasp of the active power of order, we must understand its relationship to universal law. There is a reason that the words law and order are presented together, a reason beyond the work of NBC to create a 20-plus year running TV series based on these 2 words. Now, if you're like me, you can't hear those 2 words without hearing that doom-doom sound. Anybody with me? Yeah. All right. So, Charles Fillmore states, order is the first law of the universe. Indeed, there could be no universe unless its various parts were kept in perfect harmony. We describe order as the concept of mind, idea, and expression. By this, we mean that thoughts generated from mind take form as ideas within consciousness. This happens both at the spiritual and intellectual or human level. These ideas will manifest according to the level of consciousness we have available. For the sake of clarification, I would like to invite you to think of the term order on a spectrum. In the absolute or infinite realm, divine order represents divine mind, divine idea, divine expression. In the human realm, we use the power of order as mind, idea, expression to organize, adjust, and balance based on divine law. Our ability to do so and to manifest our highest good is based on the level at which we understand and accept divine law. Now, law, according to Cambridge Dictionary, is a general rule that states what always happens when the same conditions exist. As a general rule, one aspect of divine law tells us that there is one power and one presence in the universe. It provides an infinite source of knowledge, health, wisdom, and love. Another important law in this discussion is the law of mind action. The thought often used to explain this law is thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. In order to accept these laws, we must embrace the paradox that they are both unbiased principle, and by that I mean they are able to work within each of us to the same effect, and yet personal. They function within each of us to the level at which we embrace our spiritual nature. Order is the way in which people or things are arranged in relation to one another or according to particular characteristic. In us, order is the ability to organize through these laws, adjust in order to remain aligned with them, and allow them to evolve in us as we mature spiritually. In essence, we could see order as the activity of the repeated application of law. Rather than getting stuck in trying to see the differences between these 2 words, suffice it to say that one could not exist without the other. Law without order doesn't exact the organizational skill to serve a purpose. Order without law would be impossible. Without anything to arrange, there's no need for it. These 2 things are intertwined and together weave the fabric of our existence. Moving forward, in order to avoid further definitions and utter confusion for all of us, we will simply refer to this as order. Now, there are many examples of order in our lives. Peach pits turn into peach trees. Winter turns to spring, turns to summer, turns to fall. The earth revolves around the sun. 2 + 2 = 4. These statements will always be true. For the child just learning addition, 2 + 2 will eventually equal 4. To the person making $5 million designing the latest innovations in science and technology, 2 + 2 still equals 4. Order is the architecture of our world. So many of the things we use every day came into being from our fascination with order. Math, music, science, art, technology, and every other imaginable and yet to be imagined system we have in place based in order. As I began exploring this topic in such a way that I could explain it, I have to admit that I was fairly certain the only thing I was ordering was an aneurysm. And then it hit me. There is no understanding required. In the song, I Believe, we hear examples of order. I believe for every drop of rain that falls, a flower grows. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, then I know why I believe. In what exactly do we believe? We believe in divinity, higher power, God, Allah, by whatever name you choose to call it. Order is. Order functions in our lives with or without our acceptance of it. Everything I have described so far is order working in harmony with law. In my life, I am becoming more skilled at listening to and following the prompting of Spirit. One thing that tells me I am moving away from what I refer to as my Christ center is directly tied to order. When aligned, the properties of order mentioned above, organization, adjustment, or we could call it flexibility, and evolution are present. When I am not, the properties fail to express in coordination with each other. I may be organized, but without the ability to adjust or evolve, I show up as bossy or aggressive. Or I may be flexible and open to change, but without an organizational center, I show up as wishy-washy, indecisive, or scattered. The more I tune in to the powers within me, the more quickly I notice these shifts and am able to return to harmony. So what then is our work? How do we harness this power of order in our lives? In my work as an artist and in teaching my students to sing, we work consistently with this approach to order. We learn the necessary components to create an understanding of how it works. Air is the moving force. Resistance within the vocal apparatus creates sound, etc. These two concepts, or laws, will remain in effect throughout the life of the instrument, or the body. We also learn how to order these two laws to create a desired quality. We learn how allowing the body to relax and open on inhalation, then keeping the torso in a suspended yet open position as we exhale, creates the optimal conditions for tone. We learn that the vocal cords respond to the movement of the air by moving into position at the top of the airway. When the pitch changes, an adjustment takes place in the entire system, ideally simultaneously, to generate the next sound. The amount of tension and angle of stretch the cords are in produces pitch. The expression of these ideas working together is singing. When we hear someone present an amazing display of vocal athleticism, we might call that person talented. Now, in the nerdier circles of singing, we could call this feat coordinated. In effect, this person has learned to allow properties of nature, pitch, breath, tension, flexibility, to commingle and produce the desired result. To fully experience our lives according to the immutable laws under which we live, we must learn to commingle the principles of law with the flexible, evolutionary nature of order. To get back to an earlier point, order functions in our life with or without our acceptance. Looking at my example, if you never sing a note, you are still subject to the properties mentioned. You still breathe. You still use pitch, tension, and flexibility in everyday conversation. The difference lies in your development of a coordinative process that allows you to use these properties in conjunction with each other to a fuller degree. The power of order in our lives might be considered a power of coordination. As I've mentioned, it's the ability to organize, adjust, and evolve. Our experiences in life and the ease or challenge with which we move through them are based in which laws we put our faith. If we put our faith in the laws described above, in one power desiring nothing more than to bring forth every idea necessary for our highest good, we experience greater ease. Now, this is an easy task when things are rolling along and we feel great. But how does this work when things are not going well? How does chaos just appear in our lives, and to what end? The aspects of the power of order that allow us to adjust based on current conditions, then evolve to a higher understanding, is key in these moments. Moments of chaos can be our worst nightmares and our greatest teachers. They sometimes appear suddenly. Diagnosis of illness, accidents, and natural disasters can take us by surprise. Others, like aging, are a part of the larger natural world. In either case, this quote from Carl Jung states our experience in these moments. Thoroughly unprepared, we take the step into the afternoon of life. Worse still, we take this step with the false presupposition that our truths and our ideals will serve as hitherto. But we cannot live the afternoon of life according to the program of life's morning, for what was great in the morning will be little at evening, and what in the morning was true at evening will have become a lie. Now, often this quote is tied to the process of aging. But an afternoon of life could occur in any of the ways mentioned above. When we are presented with these moments of chaos or disarray, we are being presented with an opportunity to surrender and somehow grow, or resist and struggle. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't touch on tragic life events when discussing chaos and order. I do not believe that we are to simply wish away feelings of grief. Despair, anger, sadness, melancholy, and every other emotion are meant to be experienced and allowed to express in a healthy manner. To stifle them is to create greater chaos within. As related to order, these emotions and the questioning they inspire present an opportunity to evolve. My words on tragedy will be brief, but hopefully helpful. Just behind these emotions, there is order present. When one of my dearest friends was diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer, my grief and anger were palpable. I could not understand how this wonderful woman, so full of life, positive energy, and love, could be facing this. When I spoke with her shortly after, I was able to get beyond my grief and see a bigger picture. Pre-diagnosis, she worked non-stop. Now, she places her family and her health first. Her love for life hasn't changed. Her appreciation for it has. Through her experience and bravery, I saw where order lies. Her family and friends love and cherish her, and will continue to do so for as long as she chooses to remain with us. She chose the order offered by loving family and friends over the chaos of a life plan changed. This is our work. Our power of order not only provides us with access to infinite mind and ideas which can express through us, it is the power through which we see order in change. We see possibility in chaos. And we awaken to the idea of an ever-expanded relationship with Spirit. We use this power to our fullest ability when we are continually aligned with our spiritual consciousness. Now, a little caveat here. I'm about to throw in a very important word: choice. As I've mentioned, order works for you at the level of your understanding. If you see yourself as unworthy, doomed to be alone, unimportant, or without value, you will make choices from that level of thinking, and order will appear that makes these things the truth of your experience. If you receive guidance from Spirit on a matter and actively choose to act in opposition to that guidance, order will follow your decision in that moment for as long as you hold it in mind. But an important thing to remember here: we live in a loving, caring universe that only desires our good. There's no punishment for choice. Our choices merely point us in a direction. Then order comes in and moves us toward that choice. If we become sidetracked by old, worn-out, negative beliefs, we have infinite opportunity to change our minds and our behaviors through coordination with this loving universe. Our connection to this universal good is within us, seeking to express through us. Check in with your spiritual center. If you sense something is out of alignment or somehow seems chaotic, know that there is order present and available. Guidance will come in its time. You must be patient and willing to follow the instruction that appears. Again, order will follow and make the way clear. So, I've mentioned some ways in which you might experience the power of order in your own life. These are ones that I have gleaned through study and my own experience, so this list is by no means complete. For every person in this room, there will be a different way to discover. Through awakening to the power of order, we have the individual and collective opportunity to seek out the possibilities present, adjust our perceptions, and bring about a new world order. Now, this sounds lofty at best and impossible at worst. How do we get there? First, recognize divine order everywhere present. The deeper understanding you have of this as mind, idea, expression, the greater it is able to work through you. Next, allow your thoughts and steps to be ordered by your intimate connection to Spirit. The healing of the world as you see it begins within your heart first. From that place of healing, allow your truth to shine into the world. Just like light eliminates dark, order eliminates chaos. This is an ongoing process. Shampoo bottles would say lather, rinse, repeat. Spiritually speaking, I say recognize, idealize, express. Now, in closing, I want to come back to the idea of coordination in relationship to order. Order is the 9th of the 12 powers. Let's take a look at the powers we've experienced so far and see how they coordinate with order to produce our experiences. As I read these words, I invite you to close your eyes and allow these thoughts to lead you into meditation. We come to order through faith, knowing that Spirit is working on our behalf 100% of the time. We come to order through strength to persevere, and wisdom to know what is ours to do. We come to order through imagination, seeing infinite possibility in all things, despite appearances to the contrary. We come to order with understanding of one power and one presence that connects each to the other, making us one human, earthly family. We come to order through will, ready to carry out right actions as they appear before us. And we come to order through love, knowing that the outpouring of love through order creates harmony in our lives and our world. Now, as we move into meditation, I invite you to place your attention behind your navel. This is the seat of the power of order. Breathe. Feel that area expand as your body opens. Imagine that space that you're breathing comfortably into, you feel expand and release. Imagine that space filled with a warm emerald green light. Allow this light to expand within as you continue your journey.